All right, today we are diving into one of the biggest game changers for content creators right now, using AI to generate a literally endless supply of amazing viral-ready images for Pinterest. If you're tired of that content creation hamster wheel, you are in exactly the right place. You know this feeling, right? If you're a creator, it's all too real. That constant pressure, that relentless need to pump out fresh, beautiful, attention-grabbing content. It honestly feels like you're running as fast as you can just to stay in the same spot. And this is especially true for a platform like Pinterest, which is all about the visuals. It lives and breathes on aesthetics. Trying to source or create a steady stream of high-quality, on-trend images, it's so time-consuming, and let's be honest, it can get really expensive. It's a massive bottleneck for so many of us. But what if you had your own personal design assistant? One who's ready to go 24/7, able to bring literally any visual idea you have to life. Well, that's exactly what AI image generators are. This is a huge breakthrough. You just describe an image with text, and you can watch it appear. This isn't just another tool. It's a completely new way to think about your content strategy. So let's just quickly break down the biggest wins here. First, efficiency. You can create dozens of unique images in the time it takes to set up a single photo shoot. It's also incredibly cost-effective. You can say goodbye to a lot of those stock photo fees or expensive software. You get total creative freedom to build worlds that don't even exist. And, this is a big one, you can jump on new trends the second they start popping up. So, how do we command this amazing new assistant? Well, it all comes down to the prompt, and mastering this is kind of like learning a new language. You have to stop thinking like a user and start thinking like a director who's guiding a photographer. You're giving them every single detail they need to get that perfect shot. At its core, an AI image prompt is just a string of text instructions. But here's the secret. The quality of your instructions directly controls the quality of your image. If you give it a vague prompt, you're going to get a generic, boring image. The real magic, the key to creating those stunning, unique visuals, is all in the details. And here it is, the blueprint for a perfect prompt. Think of it like a recipe. You start with your subject, what the picture is of. Then you add the style. Is it photorealistic, cinematic, maybe a watercolor? Then you define the setting, toss in key details like textures or clothing, specify the color palette, and of course, the lighting. Is it golden hour, dramatic? And finally, you direct the camera angle and ask for high resolution. Let's just see the difference this makes. It's night and day. On the left, a super simple prompt, a cat in a garden. You get, well, a cat in a garden. But now look what happens when we get specific, when we use our recipe. A fluffy ginger cat playfully stalking a butterfly in a sun-dappled English cottage garden. I mean, just listen to all that detail. Suddenly, you don't just have an image, you have a story, a mood, a whole vibe. That is the power of a great prompt. Okay, enough theory. Now that we know how it works, let's actually put it into practice. We're going to use that 8-part structure to generate images for some of the most popular, most viral aesthetics you see all over Pinterest right now. This is the fun part. Let's start with a big one, dark academia. So imagine we're writing this prompt. We're describing a grand Gothic library, we're setting the scene with ancient texts and a leather journal, and we're even controlling the light with shafts of dusty sunlight. See how we're building a whole atmosphere just with our words? And the result you get from a prompt like that? It's exactly what you'd hope for. You get that moody, mysterious vibe. The AI totally gets it, pulling on words like Gothic and ancient to create those deep sepia tones. It absolutely nails the intellectual, slightly melancholic feel of the whole dark academia aesthetic. Okay, let's do a complete 180. How about some 80s neon glam? Here the keywords are everything. Vintage sports car, futuristic city, and of course, vibrant neon signs in that classic pink, blue, and teal color scheme. We're painting a very, very specific picture here. And look at that. The AI delivers this super high-energy, retro-futuristic image. By adding those little details, like reflections on wet asphalt, you get that slick, cinematic look. This is a perfect example of how combining those specific keywords generates a visual that just hits every single note of a trend. So, you've generated a great image. Awesome, but we're not quite done yet. The final step is to refine that image and optimize it so it's specifically set up for success on Pinterest. We're talking about turning a good image into a pen that literally stops the scroll. So let's run through a few pro-level strategies. First, always iterate. Your first result is just a starting point, not the end. Second, play around with your words. Using luminous can create a totally different feel than just bright. Third, prompt for a feeling, not just a thing. Describe a serene morning. And finally, a really powerful trick. Use negative prompts to tell the AI what you don't want, like no blurry backgrounds or no people.
Now, this is a super important technical point. Pinterest is a vertical platform. You want to take up as much screen space as you can. So you should always generate your images in a vertical aspect ratio. The sweet spot, the ideal, is 2 to 3. That gives you that classic tall pin that just performs best in the feed. And here's a really simple but powerful pro tip for you. And it's this number right here, 4. For every great idea you have, I want you to generate at least 4 variations. The AI will give you slightly different compositions, lighting, and details each time. This lets you go from just generating an image to actually curating the absolute best one for your board. And that leads us to our final and maybe the most important tip of all. Don't just be a generator, be a curator. Choosing the right image is just as important as writing the right prompt. Picking that one perfect image that fits your brand's aesthetic is what separates a random feed from a cohesive, professional, and visually stunning Pinterest presence. So let's do a quick recap. What are the big takeaways? First, AI is your new secret weapon for efficiency. Second, remember that when it comes to prompts, detail is king. Third, use that 8-component structure as your roadmap. And finally, always take that extra little step to refine and optimize your images just for Pinterest. You now have the entire framework to go from a simple idea in your head to a scroll-stopping visual in just minutes. That barrier between your creative vision and a finished piece of content, it's basically gone. So really, the only question left is, what amazing thing are you going to create first?